Tí a de fún lẹ́gbà o. Tí ebùn lẹ́sí Olúwa. Lọ́gọ́mọ̀rún kájú bàjẹ́. Àwa mọ̀ rere. Ire ìjàwá o. Ire ìfọ̀mọ́ o. Ṣíwọ́ lè bàláyé. Ṣíwọ́ lè bàláyé. Ilé ìparabọ̀lẹ̀ fi balẹ̀. Bàbá ilé àgọ́. Àgọ́ àgọ́. Bàbá ilé àgọ́. Àgọ́ àgọ́.
Yeah.
I started off with a Yoruba song.
Yes, it is. I think we're in the reading of chapter 21.
Okay. Let me put that down.
Yes.
Pick this up. Causes a bit of confusion around here.
I gather.
Okay,
shot after shot.
We're in chapter 21, right?
Yes, chapter 21.
And things are happening. But I find it be a good idea to go into the next chapter by reading just a little bit from the preceding chapter.
I know, but what are you reading from?
Okay. I'm reading from a book called The Snake, 2020.
The Snake, 2020. Fantastic.
And this is a guy named Akosua. Oh, God, that's his girlfriend's name. This guy's name is Kojo Bediako Brown. He's hooking it up with a sister named Akosua Ferguson, whose former name was Cynthia. She's out. Akosua is out with her parents, reluctantly. Shopping and all of that, trying to get back together with her man.
Amen on that.
And that's where we started. Meanwhile, before that, Akosua has to put up with spending the day with her parents as they go around and about their stuff. The mother owns a couple of shops in Beverly Hills. And after she doesn't have the opportunity to spend the time with her daughter that she'd like to, because she's a kind of a bossy, not bitchy lady, but like a lot of mothers who want to see their daughters in their own images. She wants her daughter to be like her, you know, club lady, you know, who belongs to the Republican club. In this case, she wants Akosua to join the Young Republicans organization. Akosua, of course, thinks it's crap. But they're winding up their little trip to her mother's shops in Beverly Hills, and the mother is trying to hang on to her daughter for a little longer, so she has manipulated. She's a manipulator. She has manipulated her husband, Harvey, who is kind of a
in the paper guy. I'm in the paper.
I've known a couple of these people.
Right, yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
He reads the newspaper endlessly.
Right.
So she says, okay, after an exhausting 3 hours of watching her mother try on dozens of exotically shaped straw hats, sunglasses, beach jackets, and sandals, they're getting ready to have a Caribbean cruise, mother and father. Akosua was beginning to feel a deadly sense of boredom. Guess I must have taken after my dad. Look at him. He's bought himself 2 pairs of gaudy shorts and a pair of Mexican sandals, and he's ready to go back home. Mom, you think we have everything you need for your Caribbean holiday? I think so, for the moment. Harvey, you promised us lunch, remember? I did? Yes, you did, darling. Don't you recall? This is chapter 121. Oh, yes. I did promise you, didn't I? Akosua concealed a grim frown. So you've done it again. Shopping all morning, and then you grab me for most of the afternoon, knowing that I would rather be at home working or sleeping or doing anything rather than this. Water. Ma maison. Yes, of course. She would want to come here. Table for 3, please. Yes, madame. Akosua felt uncomfortable in ma maison. All of the ma maisons. A lot of pretentious crap. Women in large floppy hats, seated behind tall stands of ferns, everything white and glistening, expensive. Order whatever you like, Akosua. It's on your father. Akosua slammed the oversized menu down, placed it carefully on the table, and stared daggers into her mother's face. Mom, I don't know why I have to continue to tell you how to pronounce my name. Akosua. Now please repeat after me. Akosua. Minerva Ferguson looked as though she wanted to slip under the table. Akosua, please. She doesn't know how to pronounce it. You're embarrassing me. People are listening, she whispered. Good. Then they'll know how to pronounce my name too. What are we having here? I think I'd like to start with a glass of the overpriced white wine. Garçon! Harvey Ferguson had, as usual, concealed himself behind his menu during the exchange between his wife and daughter. Akosua felt the neat little thrill of knowing that she had pulled the right card to trump on her mother. She loves to be seen in the white places, to pretend that she's white, and she wants me to play the little game with her. Bullshit. Yes, come in. No, we have none today. Bullshit. I wonder what the hell happened to her to make her the way she is. Look how intimidated she is by the waiter. She can employ white people, tell them what to do and how to do it, but the minute she goes social, she begins to kiss their asses. Harvey? Yes, Minerva? You're not saying anything. How's your steak? It's delicious. Good. Akosua? The shrimp is wonderful, Mom. Wonderful, just the way I like it. Hard and rubbery, with just a dash of stale mayonnaise. Mrs. Ferguson stared at her daughter, wondering for the umpteenth time, what in the world happened to her? Maybe it was a mistake to allow her to go away to school. Maybe if we had kept her closer to us, instead of allowing her to go down south to school to be amongst all of those radical blacks. Oh, I can see that you're joking. Yes, I'm just joking, Mom. Just joking. They shoveled their forks of exquisitely prepared goodies into their mouths, each of them absorbed by a different vibe. Mrs. Ferguson nodded super pleasantly to the people at the next table, seeming to assure them that they were well-mannered colored people who know how to act at ma maison. Akosua sipped her second glass of Pinot Chardonnay, wondering why her mother felt compelled to be liked by whites. Harvey Ferguson made a long work of a palm-sized piece of half-done meat, trying to avoid everything. Someone you know, Mom? Who? The people at the next table. Mrs. Ferguson pursed her lips at her daughter, clearly on the verge of saying something sharp, but was blindsided by the arrogant waiter. Just everything is satisfactory, madame. Oh, that's wonderful. I love dining at ma maison. The food is always superb, and the service, there's such an ambiance. Akula studied the man's impatient expression. Come on, Mom, get a guy a break. Yes, of course, madame. Please, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Look at her beaming, as though she just finished talking with a biggie or something. In this day and age, unreal.
Mm-hmm.
My own mother coming off like a high-tech angel mommy.
Mm-hmm.
Minerva, wonderful idea to come here. What are we having for dessert? They have these marvelous little tarts, remember? You had 2 of them the last time we were here. Akosua frowned at her mother, turned a super pleasant smile on a super sophisticated couple passing the table. The couple looked at her with jaded blue eyes and didn't return her ingratiating smile. Good. Maybe you'll stop trying to make people like you. White people.
Mm-hmm.
God, what the hell is going to take to jar you out of this white love bag? Who knows? Maybe it's terminal. Why not now? What the hell? Mom, Dad, I'm getting married.
I forgot she does that. Nothing like doing that at a fancy restaurant.
Best place in the world.
Yeah, best place, obviously.
She almost laughed aloud watching their jaws drop in tandem. They were silent for a long beat. Surprisingly, she thought her father started the questioning. Anyone we know, dear? No, not really. You heard me talk about him, I'm sure. Brilliant filmmaker, director.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Kojo Brown. Oh, an African. No, Mom, an African-American like me. They diced through their tarts, completely upset and distressed by the news. How long have you known this person? Akosua. Akosua. A little over 2 years. And you never brought him home? Never given your parents the opportunity to know him? Does he come from a good family? The best.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey Ferguson finished his tart and settled back in his seat, stared at a point above Akosua's head. Mrs. Ferguson couldn't finish her tart. She didn't know whether she wanted to slap her daughter's face or throw her tart at her.
Not at my mom's song. It don't do that.
If we weren't in Mama's song, I would.
Right. That would not let you come back ever again. So what do they do? Go on. Tell me more.
Well, I assume we'll have the opportunity of meeting the young man before you two elope. Have you set a date yet? It'll be soon. Does that mean it'll have to be soon or just soon? What are you asking me, Mom? Are you pregnant? I don't think so, but I won't know till next month. She was amused by the drained expressions on her father's face. Harvey, why don't you pay the check? I don't think Mama's on is the proper place to discuss our daughter's affairs. Why don't we go home? And sorry, Mom, not today. I'm going to drop you guys off and go back to the drawing board. I have a book to write. Once again, Akosua took note of her mother's pursed, disapproving mouth.
Mm-hmm.
The woman ought to be an actress. She knows how to form expressions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when would you suggest we get together to discuss this matter? We all, after all, still your parents, and you're still our daughter. I know. Why not Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday's best. Perhaps you could persuade the husband-to-be to come with you. I'll try, Dad. I'll try. She watched her father spool 2 $100 bills and receive $5 change.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. Pretentious change. Bullshit. Kojo stared at the screen, watching the credits roll past.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who's coming to dinner? God, what a joke. It would be comical if it weren't so sad to think that a beautiful brother like Portier had to wade through all of that crap. Imagine they had to give the brother international credentials, if you remember Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Mm-hmm.
advisors to the UN Pregnancy Council,
Right.
world class. Imagine they had to give a brother international credentials just to have a relationship with an ordinary white girl who seemed to have no credentials at all beyond being the daughter of Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy. Oh well. He took the salad bowl and orange juice glass to the kitchen, placed them in the sink, slowly revving his mind up for the evening's work. The phone buzzing startled him. Kojo, this is Thelma. Thelma, you got my note. Got your note. We'll be there on 3rd Sunday in September, okay? So, how have you been? Great, just got back from Africa. Okay, see you on the 3rd Sunday. Bye. He smiled, placing the receiver back in the cradle. Thelma Nagata. Pure business. A real no-nonsense type. That's exactly what I need for an office manager, an unemotional straight shooter. He returned to his office bedroom, huddled over the legal pad on his desk. A silent film, Mr. Brown? An African-American silent film. There's a difference. I'm sure there is, but don't you think it's a bit retrogressive to think? No, I don't think that at all. I think that the American film / movie industry overlooked us, except in the most negative, stereotypical during the white silent film era. I want to do a series of films starting during the silent era that will take us through the years using an Afrocentric POV. Sorry, Mr. Brown, I'm afraid the committee will have to veto this one, just like you vetoed the last one and the one before that. Mr. Brown, perhaps the committee could see its way clear to fund one of your projects if they were less esoteric, more mainstream, you might say. You mean whiter. Good day, Mr. Brown. Kojo leaned back in his chair and smiled at the memory. I bet they were glad to see me get my ass out of there, the troublesome Mr. Brown. The buzzing phone stirred him from his reverie. Hello? Kojo, my brother. Yes, I received your note this morning. I'm down for all the action, all of it. I'm glad, DJ. I'm glad. You know, we can't pull it off without the cameraman. I know. So, 3rd Sunday in September at 1 o'clock, huh? On the dial, good, I'll be there. Cool. Later, DJ. Yeah. Good, they're coming in. The cream of the crop that Hollywood neglected or treated so shabbily that they never felt any loyalty to the mega studios. Our own Birth of a Nation film. 4 films, 5 films that would take us through the film eras that the whites went through dealing with African Americans from our own perspective. If we had had control of our image during those years. From African slave, a rebellious, hard-headed, clean-minded lot who understood what they were up against and bit the bullet, the Denmark Vessies and Nate Turners and Sojourner Truth. Why have we never had films about these heroic figures? Henry Box Brown. To colored, to Negro, to black, to African American, fade in. The series would be honest, stimulating, thought-provoking, edutaining. The key word is edutaining. A word I've coined to indicate that we are not simply about the business of browbeating a film, going public with lots of historical facts. The facts will be there as a seminal element of the exciting stories that will be told. Kojo dropped the ballpoint and massaged his knuckles. This is the hard part. Laying it out so that everyone will be able to see it and understand it. African American satire. Authentic African American comedy, not the canned stuff they put behind some cardboard figures. Drama, real drama. Raising in the sun forever. As good as it was, we passed the era so long ago of wanting to move into somebody's white neighborhood. A facsimile of a few of our geniuses. The real McCoy, the doctor who first did the heart operation, the woman who owned a good piece of San Francisco at one time, Marie Laveau. Kojo stared out of the window at two children skipping down the streets, innocent, virginal, new. They haven't even scratched the surface of African American history or life. And we've been sluggish about doing what we should have done a long time ago ourselves. Bessie Smith, Monk, Dr. George Washington Carver, the space shuttle guys, Duke Ellington, Malcolm X, well, to give it to Spike a pat on the back for that one. All kinds of people, places, events, my grandfather's eyes. He paused to reflect on what he had seen in his grandfather's eyes and began to scribble furiously. No one will be able to say that we didn't start out with an arsenal. Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, thousands of incredible people of African descent. Hell, we need 1,000 film crews working night and day to film 1/10 of what we're about. To film 1/10 of what we're about. Well, what is it? What is it they say? A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. The phone again. Yeah. Kojo, is that you, man? Oh, sorry, Philip. I was kind of in another world there. Writing, huh? Like a fiend. Okay, I won't hold you. Just thought I'd let you know I might be out of town on the 3rd Sunday in September, but I'm not. But if I'm not, I'll be there. Look like you got your finger on something, huh? I hope so, Phil. I hope so. Okay, check with you later. Yeah, later. Philip Charles, the best lighting technician in the world. Hope he can make it. He continued writing. Excuse. We want to see characters. I'm calling him Chester Simmons. As an alter ego with dozens of types of African American men, he can be tender, cruel, merciless, sharp, dull, up, down, completely sane, completely insane, depending on the circumstances. Witty, solemn, full of devil-may-care, very conservative. In a few words, he is a reflection of the many moods and emotions that have been a part of the African American psyche since the beginning. Ed Burns here. Hey, Kojo, what's the shit about meeting on the 3rd Sunday in September at 1 o'clock? What are you getting together to do? Plot a robbery of Wells Fargo? Include me in, as Sam Goldwyn used to supposed to have said. Thanks, Ed. I needed that. I'll fill you in when we come together, okay? Gotcha. See you on the 3rd. Bye. Ed Burns, assistant director. Mac Weaver, assistant director. Guys who understood the importance of timing and cohesion. Kojo stood up to stretch. Incredible how much energy you can put into your own thing. Here I've been at it for hours and I still feel fresh. Wonder how Akosua made out with her parents. They are really a drag. The Pan-African fringe will be a frame of reference for what goes on in these films. There will be people with West Indian accents, people with Cuban, Brazilian, Venezuelan accents, people with no accents at all. 10:30 time to take a break. No wonder my stomach is growling. Cheese, bread, wine. Terrible combination. I love it. So I gather up the people, put a broad outline together that will offer us guidelines for 5, 6, maybe 10 films. And where will the money come from? He sipped his wine meditatively. I'll get the money. I'll get the money doing what I'm supposed to do. 12:15, time to call it into it. Check out a movie before the end of the day. He's got a shelf full of tapes. Scent of a woman. Yeah, something lush, maybe Italian. Vittorio Gassman. I wonder how the moguls pulled that off. They took the same movie, altered it slightly, and gave it to Al Pacino. They didn't even change the name. Scent of a Woman. If they really did rip it off, it was a colossal rip-off. Scent of a Woman, the story of a blinded officer who doesn't see his blindness as a handicap, refuses to be just another man with a cane. Beautifully photographed, well-designed, art in every frame. 12:30 a.m. Kojo took a quick shower, wrapped himself in a bath towel and sprawled across his bed. Something is driving me to do this. The face of the moon glared at him, hypnotizing him with the faces that he found on its surface. Well, we all know it ain't made of green cheese now. Not after all these people that trap around up there. The phone buzzing startled him. Akosua? The Betty Arco Brown residence. Kojo, this is Juna. I got your note. Juna, the wayward genius who's going to give us the music for the first film, at any rate. The woman was known to be notoriously difficult to deal with. Full of rhythms and off attitudes. I'm glad you called. I won't be able to give you all the full rundown until we meet. There's some things that I have to put in place before our meeting. The sudden loud crashing of a piano blasted her eardrum. Oh, sorry about that. This crazy cat of mine likes to slam the piano key cover down. I think it freaks him out or something. Now, what were you saying? I was saying that I can't really give you the complete picture until we meet. Why not? Why not? He detected a hostile tone in her voice. Juna, you know how this business is. If I started painting rosy pictures in the sky, someone would be terribly disappointed. I have to deal with things as I get to them. So what do you want me to do?
September.
I want you to do the music for the film. I hope it might be films, and not necessarily sequels. Why did you choose me to do the music? Because you're the most imaginative, the most sensitive, the best musician in the world. Juna's manic laughter shook him for a moment. Well, half a dozen people had already expressed their opinion about Junior's state of mind. Of course, she's a musical genius, no doubt about that. But the sister don't have both oars in the water. Kojo, what kind of film is this going to be? Kojo took a deep breath and swallowed hard. It is going to be so close to being a silent film that we may as well call it that. Silent film, huh? With special effects and a musical score that won't quit? You got it. Yeah, I can see that in the back of my mind right now. We're talking about an African-American thing, right? From fade in to fade out. Kojo, I have to go. I'll see you. Bye, Jonah. He replaced the phone, sprawled back on his bed, and laced his hands behind his head. I think I'm going to put Akosua on Juna. She would run me nuts in a week. You know, there are people out there like that. Harvey, please put your newspaper down. We have to talk. Harvey Ferguson reluctantly lowered the paper. Well, his real pleasures in life was to wade through the Sunday edition of the LA Times. What is it, Minerva? What are you so upset about? Do I need to tell you? You should be upset as well. Aren't you concerned about the announcement our daughter made at lunch yesterday about getting married to someone we've never heard of? Well, I'll have to admit that was a bit unsettling, but what can we do about it? After all, she's an adult. She may be an adult, but she's still our daughter, and we can't allow her to go off and make a mistake like that. Harvey Ferguson, semi-retired architect, golfer, easygoing guy. Minerva's husband for 26 years, sighed. It's going to be one of those days. Sweetheart, how do you know it's going to be a mistake? Minerva Ferguson, nee Jackson, of the Jacksons of Evanston, glared at her husband. Any man that Cynthia chose without consulting her would be a mistake. Oh, without a doubt. I agree with you, but once again, I have to ask you, what could we do about it? She was silent and thought for a few moments. I don't know, offhand. But we'll certainly have to think of something, won't we? Harvey Ferguson, anxious to get back into reading the Sunday Times, nodded in agreement. They'll be coming here on Tuesday. We'll have an opportunity to take a good look at this rascal. Yes, Minerva. Monday, bright and clear in Los Angeles for a change, Kojo went through the automatic motions of starting his daily routine. Brush teeth, comb hair, go to the park for the capoeira workout. Morning, Kojo. Looks like you're dragging it a little bit. Oh, morning, Fred. You know how it is when you don't have a day off, it begins to catch up with you after a while. And yeah, I know what you mean. You sort of get off the plane back onto the old treadmill, huh? Yeah, I guess you could say that. Well, got to get to work. I'll talk to you later. Okay, don't forget, Julia and myself, we want to hear about your trip to Africa. We'll get together. Nice people. Too bad we don't have a whole world with Frederick and Julia Chans in it. The old treadmill, maybe it seemed like that to him, but it's the new treadmill for me, my own treadmill. It had been a busy weekend putting a treatment outline together for his project, answering the phone on and off, Akosua problems with her family. Damn, she wants me to go with her to see them on Tuesday. Well, I guess I have to pay my dues like everybody else. Morning, Kojo. Here for your daily dozen, huh? Yeah, it's a good way to start off, Harry. They waved to him from the paved street that circled the park, and he waved back. The last thing I want them to think is that I'm homophobic. The yoga woman had wrapped herself around herself and gone into what seemed like a trance. The bookworm was walking his sad-eared beagle, reading a newspaper for a change. The Tai Chi guys were doing their thing, and the old Armenian men were assembling for a morning of card playing, doing surreptitious vodka drinking, and having sad discussions about the Holocaust, the one that the Turks were responsible for in 1915. That is the beginning of chapter 22, and this is where I'm stopping. It's going on. The plot, like I said in the blurb, the plot is thickening.
Yes, yes.
I was working up to the difference or the distinction, we talked about it last night, for example, the distinction between what it is they normally give us in the Hollywood movies, the Hollywood television shows about successful black families who seem to be hung up on some little trivial shit, like I have to go all the way back to the Cosby Show.
Okay, most definitely.
Cosby, someone we didn't know at the time, was addicted to doing what he had been sentenced to jail for doing.
Yes, yes.
Had a family, I think it was 5 kids in the family. Felicia Rashad looked so wonderful and so beautiful and so young to have 5 kids, but she pulled it off.
Yeah.
I think it was 4. I can't even count them. Boy.
3 girls and a boy. 3 girls and a boy.
Okay, little girl.
Teenage girl.
I don't know, 3. What the hell?
Yeah, 3 girls.
Anyway, they got kids. They got black kids. The big boy, the little girl, and the 2 sisters. Big boy, little girl, and one, anyway.
One was in college.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, whatever.
You know, you look at show after show, and the Huxtables have no problem other than little mundane stuff that's happening about whatever. You know, like, has anybody seen my pink socks or whatever?
Right.
And so forth.
Mom was a lawyer, Daddy's a doctor.
Never saw her do law, never saw him do doctor. The Jefferson, one episode I remember just cracked me up that had to do with the brother not being able to find his sweater or something. So rather than buy a new sweater, they have to finagle around the old sweater. At least you could say that they didn't have major league cocaine dealing running through the scene or whatever. But you know, in the context of black families, whether they are low class or up class, it's still the same damn thing. We're concerned about things like the police shooting you for no reason at all, which you know, it's a funny thing in light of what we're talking about going through with Jacob Blake and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland and the Brown Ferguson shit and on and on and on. There's no day, no time, anything, anywhere. Hey, NBA.
Amen.
Hey, NBA.
Yes, indeed.
And even the Major League Baseball people, hey,
All
Major
sports,
League Baseball.
yeah, sports really come
All the way down to the hockey guys.
Yeah, I know.
Hockey guys.
I know.
Oh, I got off the track.
Yes, the times are changing.
Okay,
And,
but times never change for us until they completely change.
yes,
And
hopefully they're on the way.
if you can sit here, if I could sit here and say I could think of a time that we would be completely changed, I would never write another rotten book for the rest of my time on earth. That's not a promise.
A rotten book? Your books are good. The only two are that I don't like. But anyway, moving right along.
Okay, moving right along. Anyway, to wrap this up, I'm trying to give some voice to the idea that you have upper middle class people. This is Akosua's mother and father, who are, you know, just like everybody else who has a lot of money. They have some kind of static idea, some kind of, you know.
African American Republicans.
Woo! I wish I had said that.
Versus Kojo's parents, which are African American Democrats, more than likely.
More than likely. That's a really good political distinction between them.
Yeah.
Aside from that, they're just simply unique individuals because we're not monogamous folks, you know.
Right.
Homogeneous, all blacks. It kills me when they say the blacks. Something Trump said once. I'm on good terms with the blacks. And you knew when he said that, well...
Digressing again. All right.
Okay,
we
having
were
said
reading
the book is called The
Snake 2020. And it does have diversity of cultural concepts within the chapters. However...
Say that again?
It has diversity of cultural concepts within the chapters, which is nice. All right? I look forward to hearing about chapter 22.
You got it.
Because that's when Kojo will meet her parents, I think. And
yes,
that should be interesting. All right? There's your picture on the back, which I took.
That you did.
Yes,
I'm especially proud of this picture because it made me look like a person.
You're quite a person, Mr. Hawkins. Trust me, you're quite a person.
And also, the front cover made me look like a person too.
Love with Africa. Okay.
Hey, Cedric, thanks, man.
Cedric Adams. Thank you for the cover there. The Snake 2020 can be purchased on Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
I'm just trying to bring your attention to the book.
Yes.
It might be.
Yes, okay. Before it slips away. Anyway, and your website is www.odiehawkins.com.
Got you.
You're on Amazon's author page. One can Google Odie Hawkins.
One can Google?
One can Google.
How about 1 million?
Well, that too.
Okay.
And if you like these moments in time with Odie and Zola, please subscribe to the channel.
Shua le balaye.
Shua le balaye.
Shua le balaye.
Shua le balaye.